Okay, Mario, we discuss atheism in Nietzsche's thought. What is your opinion on this topic?
Hi Robert, thank you for asking. Nietzsche was never my role model, or I didn't like reading Nietzsche and his thoughts, his theories. He was always too dark for me. But on this topic, I can say that maybe he influenced today's Western thought more than I would like to. But his theories of nihilism and God is dead, and his development of meaninglessness and purposelessness were maybe nice first steps to some explorations, but actually he didn't offer anything after his thoughts about God is dead and what is the purpose of life. Because when he said that most people would or could not accept meaninglessness and purposelessness as a starting point, and they will search for a supplement. Actually, he didn't offer anything like a way out, but he said that nationalism would be maybe the supplement to fill that emptiness after the religion and God die. And actually that proved with Nazis. I think they quite praised him. Most of Nazi high educated Nazis, like I think Goebbels or somebody, refer to Nietzsche quite a lot. So I see the problem with his job or his theory in that he didn't offer alternative. So therefore I couldn't just digest his nihilism without, as he said, supplement. Of course, I tried in my development and personal evolvement. I tried to find religious meaning of life in religion and Christian thought and later some popular psychology, but nothing actually fit quite good. Then I found actually Eastern psychology, which said, especially my one of my beloved philosopher, let's say Osho, Rajneesh, he said, the same thing actually. Nietzsche didn't offer any way out. So what would fill that emptiness after that nihilism and meaningless? So Eastern philosophy didn't say we offer you some religion or God or whatever, new God, new man, whatever. They said the introspection means personal development and delving into ourselves and our emotions and mind is actually the way out, which is the cornerstone of Zen and all that godless philosophies in the East. So that's my summary. What's your thought? What do you enjoy in Nietzsche's let's say philosophy?
Well, I think that Nietzsche's atheism is specific and not general. In other words, Nietzsche respected Judaism, but he detested Christianity. And this is not just my opinion. According to a Stanford source, Nietzsche takes strikingly different attitudes toward the Old Testament, which he respected, and the New Testament, which he detested. He believed the New Testament didn't improve upon the Old or show any progress. And I want to read a quote from Nietzsche. It says, "In the Jewish Old Testament, the book of divine justice, there are men, things, and speeches of such impressive style that the world of Greek and Indian literature has nothing to place beside them. We stand with fear and reverence before these tremendous remnants of what human beings once were, and will, in the process, suffer melancholy thoughts about old Asia and its protruding peninsula of Europe, which, in marked contrast to Asia, would like to represent the progress of man. Naturally, whoever is in himself only a weak, tame, domestic animal, and who knows only the needs of domestic animals, like our educated people nowadays, including the Christians of educated Christianity, among these ruins, such a man finds nothing astonishing or even anything to be sad about. A taste for the Old Testament is a touchstone with respect to great and small. Perhaps he finds the New Testament, that book of grace, still preferable to his heart. In it there is a good deal of the really tender, stifling smell of over-pious and small-souled people. To have glued together this New Testament, a sort of rococo of taste in all respects, with the Old Testament into a single book as the Bible and the essential book, that is perhaps the greatest act of daring and sin against the spirit which literary Europe has on its conscience." End quote. And this was from Beyond Good and Evil, Part 3, Aphorism 52. You mentioned Nazis and his influence in Nazi Germany, but I think that this quote should refute the idea that Nietzsche was anti-Jewish, because Nietzsche's love of Greek literature is well known. In fact, he wrote a whole book on Greek tragedy. Nevertheless, Nietzsche thinks that the world of Greek literature has nothing to place beside the Jewish Bible. So that is something which really fascinates me. This kind of praise is something which people perhaps wouldn't expect from Nietzsche, right? Another quote is, "I don't like the New Testament. You will already have guessed as much. It almost disturbs me that I stand so alone in my taste with respect to this most highly regarded and overvalued written work. The taste of 2,000 years is against me. How can I help that? Here I stand. I can't do otherwise. I have the courage of my own bad taste. The Old Testament, now that's something quite different. All honor to the Old Testament. In that I find great men, a heroic landscape, and something of the rarest of all elements on earth, the incomparable naivete of the strong heart. Even more, I find the people. In the New Testament, by contrast, I find nothing but small sectarian households, nothing but spiritual rococo, nothing but ornament, twisted little corners, oddities, nothing but conventional air, not to mention an occasional breeze of bucolic sweet sentimentality, which belongs to the age and the Roman province, something not so much Jewish as Hellenic. Humility and pomposity standing shoulder to shoulder, a chatting about feelings which are almost stupefying, vehement feelings but no passion, with awkward gestures. Here, it seems, there's a lack of a good upbringing." End quote. This was from On the Genealogy of Morals, third essay, section 22. So personally, I agree with Nietzsche. I prefer Judaism, and I believe that Christianity is idolatry. So that's my personal opinion.
Yes, I agree with you. Based on what you said and read, my only comment is, since I'm talking outside of any religious beliefs, and based on what I said before, that he influenced Adler and Jung and popular, modern psychology quite a lot. And knowing that he died, he was quite sick as a person, and he died, I think he was 50-something, he died quite young. What I can say is that his thoughts and work on philosophical field were maybe hardly influenced by his fears or doubts, maybe also projections. and that kind of work doesn't impress me, no matter he praised the Old Testament. I can agree with him. The Old Testament has, I believe, more strength than New Testament. But my problem is that when you move, when you are too close to any religion belief, it's like you are too close to the text, to the book you try to read, and you can read just one word. To be able to read all page, you need to step back a little bit to get the whole picture. So same with this fascination with any religion. I believe religions are just a tiny part of the life or existence, because in my opinion, God doesn't have personality, if there is a God. But when we drop personal interpretation of God by any religion, then when that personal taste of God drops, what is left is maybe just pure existence, which has some kind of, let's say, godliness. So we go from quantity, defining what God is, to quality, defining the features of existence which we can maybe perceive as a godliness. Therefore, I find modern psychology, and starting with Nietzsche and maybe before, and following with Jung and Adler, quite depressive. And if you see the Western state of mind, it's chaotic and doesn't offer any solution to those problems which were maybe developed in the beginning of the last century, 20th century. So that's that's just my personal opinion, but I couldn't find any help in psychology, either in Nietzsche. In Jung was a little bit more interesting, but Nietzsche was totally dark in my opinion. So I believe that his appraisal of Old Testament was connected with his personal fears and doubts, and he was fascinated with the strength of the scripture, and I believe that's what many people are attracted to ancient texts such as Bible.
Well, I certainly agree with you that the modern Western world has a lot of problems, and when it comes to Christianity, as a Croat, I think that the Croatian people accepted Christianity for a very simple reason. It brought literacy. So Christianity brought literacy. What do I mean by that? Old Slavic is the first written Slavic language. The oldest form of that language is found in biblical translations and other church books from the 10th and 11th century. However, in the modern world, I believe that we do not need Christianity anymore.
I believe we don't need any religion, but there will be for sure a long period of transition from one mindset to another, and there is where actually Nietzsche's worry about what will supplement Christianity or any other religion. I don't specifically think of only Christianity. So Nietzsche is getting back or getting his importance in this question: what will supplement Christianity? Because you must admit that Christianity still has a big influence, no matter if that is a good influence or bad, but it still influences many people, and there is a kind of fight between Christianity and other religions, and between each other, of course, of those religions, which is not good way to solve that problems. So I don't think anything is set up in a good way to offer personal experience as a way out of beliefs which don't serve me anymore. In any term, not specifically connected with Christianity, but in any term, in terms of politics or nationality or whatever. So I guess all that brainwashing is has big consequences. Maybe not now, but those big consequences will be soon on our menu. And unfortunately, we don't. I cannot see the senseless, the sense in nor psychology or religion, except the moving from the thoughts which are actually skewed and doesn't have the purpose they had centuries ago.
Okay, Mario, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you too, Robert.
And I look forward to our next discussion.
Likewise.
We are Godless Judaism.
We discuss atheism, religion, and everything else.